All right, so I went to Caroline's on Broadway with my wife, and we saw Russell Peters live, which was really cool. Russell Peters is one of the best comedians working today. Hilarious guy. He has a bunch of specials on Netflix. He's like a comedy OG. He's been at it for a long time, and it shows. When you see like a top tier comic like that, it's like you're watching a master of his craft. You know what I mean? And it was definitely a pleasure to get to see him live. And something I like about Caroline's on Broadway, if you haven't been there, it's a big place, but intimate big. It's definitely not theater big. It's not as small, obviously, as a comedy club like a Stand Up New York or The Stand or an intimate, Sorry, guys, I had to pause it again real quick. But what was I saying? All right, so Caroline's is not as intimate as a small comedy club, but it's also not as impersonal as a theater. However, you do kind of get like the best of both worlds, in my opinion, in the sense that you still can see a large theater act at Caroline's, which to me is like the perfect like medium. So I like Caroline's. I like the setup of it. It was a fun night. First off, the night started off great in the sense that like my wife pees more than a 3-year-old, and we're always she's always like going to the bathroom like a bunch of times or whatever. And after we sat down, like before the show starts, like she was like, "Oh, let me go one more time." She gets up and she goes, and it's like when pretty much everybody's like already seated. Our seats wound up being really good too, because if you know with Caroline's, it's when you purchase your like the tickets for a show, they pretty much add you to a list, and you're brought in accordance with the number that you got from when you purchased the tickets, right? And I think it's like a first come first serve type of thing, and it's like as you go in, you just like walk, everybody with an orange ticket, come in now. Everyone with a green ticket coming out. So it kind of like works like that. So, and they fill up the tables like with people. So you're sitting with strangers and stuff like that, kind of like a regular like comedy club. And our seats were like dead center in like that middle tier after like that first like floor level. And by floor level, it's not like a theater like orchestra, mezzanine, or anything like that. It's like the floor level, and then like literally 2 steps up is like that next level that I'm referring to. And we were right there, like in the center, perfect view of the stage. And there was actually two like I guess like famous DJs there. One of them was I think DJ Premier, and the other one was I don't remember his name. But Russell shouted them out, and Russell's like big on DJing, like he does it like as a hobby. And if you see his specials, he always has like 2 dope DJs like on stage with him, like 1 or 2 dope DJs, and he had one for this show also. But anyway, so my wife goes to use the bathroom. She comes back with like a excited look on her face and like a huge smile, and she bumped into Russell when she was like coming out of the bathroom. And because he was like preparing to like come on stage, and she was like, oh my god, let me get a picture. And like she got a picture with him. She said he was really nice and stuff like that. So that was cool. That definitely like made the night start off on a good foot. Then the show was just like really good. He was super funny, which we already know. I mean, we've seen all his like specials on Netflix. I think he has like 3 or 4 specials on Netflix. I've heard him on different podcasts and different shows, and I know I like his style of comedy, and it was Not all, but mostly the new material, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe like actually maybe like half new material. I don't know, but I remember enjoying it. And the most memorable thing about it was, and you kind of get this more with the more intimate shows versus theater shows where there's crowd work involved, and he's a master at fucking crowd work. I mean, even his specials, which he does in films and theaters, he does crowd work in those. And it's not that you can't do crowd work in those kind of settings, but I think you lose something because, you know, it's such a big venue that nobody else hears what the fuck the person says, and they only get the information if the comic happens to repeat it, like repeat their response or questions or whatever, which the better ones do, but some of them don't. Anyway, when you're in that intimate setting, you kind of get like the unfiltered view and like response of like the person that he's interacting with in the crowd, and he's just like so good at it. He like used people's names, like weaved like people's names and occupations that they told him like throughout his set, and like somebody that he spoke to in the first 10 minutes, he brought them full circle in like the last 10 minutes, and you know, just a masterful, fucking unique, one of a kind performance that you can only get at a live comedy show. And we had a really good time. It was a good night.